Hey, I'm back. Just want to give you a very quick update. So today is Tuesday, November 6th, and I had my first luteal blood test today, which was pretty painless. Not much to it, just a quick blood test. But after the test, I asked if I could speak with a nurse because I really wanted to understand more about this test and what its purpose was. Like, why were we doing the test? I know that they don't call you with the results, whatever they're looking for. I know that they don't adjust your dosage of the progesterone shot or anything like that. But they are testing for the levels of estrogen and progesterone in your blood. So I wanted to really know what's the purpose. And essentially I was told by the nurse that that this was really just informational, and the doctor would look at this more so for future cycles, but that as far as this cycle was concerned, they didn't really do much with the information. They looked at it to see what the blood levels were, but that they didn't adjust based on it. So I wouldn't get a call saying, do a shot and a half or do half a shot or anything like that. So pretty interesting to me. The nurse also told me that I could skip the next one, but she didn't say it like that. She said, so if you miss one, don't worry about it. And so I have another one scheduled for Thursday, and I don't know if I'm going to come. I don't know if I want to go do it. I mean, this shot is done during, or the blood test, excuse me, this is done during daily monitoring hours, which are pretty early in the morning. And so like, if I don't need to do it, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. I think the only small benefit to me doing the second luteal blood test would be if I have to do another cycle, if I ever end up doing another cycle in the future. But given that it's not really for any real reason, I don't, I mean, other than to test the level of the hormones in my blood, but they don't, like they said, they don't do anything at this point. The nurse also told me that it's still a little too early for me to do a self-pregnancy test, or do a pregnancy test at home, so that even if I wanted to test early by doing a pregnancy test at home, it would probably be positive, because I did trigger with the HCG, and that stays in your blood for about 10 days. So I'm coming up where about it would just start to be out of my blood, I guess, within the next couple of days. She told me if I want to, I can take a home pregnancy test this weekend. But that's so close to the time of getting the actual blood test or a pregnancy test that I figure I can wait until next week, which is really when I'm supposed to go back for that test. But yeah, that was really it. I just kind of wanted some comfort in what was going on. I know there's no way to know whether the embryos or embryo, whether either, both, whatever, implanted or not. She says implantation usually happens within 5 days after the embryo is being transferred, and that you may see implantation bleeding, but you might not. You might get cramping, you might not. But as I said before, a lot of the symptoms come from the progesterone shot. So, my symptoms have really been pretty consistent with the breast tenderness, the bloating, even bloating in my hands, which usually happens around my menstrual cycle. I'll start to notice that my rings are a little tighter, or that even bending my fingers, I can feel the tightness. So I could feel some of that. So you might get bloating or swelling in your hands and feet, lower abdomen bloating, which is what I've had more frequently with urinating. I've had that as well. But as I said, nothing abnormal. So if I wasn't doing any of this and I was urinating the same amount that I'm urinating now, I wouldn't say, oh my God, I'm pregnant, or oh my God, something's wrong. It's, it's a little more, I've had, the nosebleeds have been kind of consistent. Like I said, it wasn't anything major anyway. It was more so just with blowing my nose. So what I'm trying to do is to stop looking for symptoms as much, because I don't want to move my emotions in either direction. As I said, I've tried to be cautiously optimistic this entire time. And if the test is negative, I think I'll have to be okay with that, right? And I think I could be okay with that. It's just, I don't want to be depressed or fall into any sort of depression over it, or because, you can always try again, whether that's naturally or through IUI or, another cycle of IVF. I don't think I will do back-to-back cycles if the test is negative, because I just want to give my body a rest. I don't know what the long-term side effects of all these cycles are. This was only my first cycle. There isn't a lot of research as to the long-term side effects, and Lord knows the last thing I want to find out in, 20, 30, 40 years, well, is that this is what doing this was a big impact on anything. 40 years I'll probably be, closer to the end anyway, right? Maybe 40, 50 years. Anyway, so I'm just, I want to give my body a rest. My doctor's office is not open in December. They're open, but they don't start new cycles during a good portion of December going into January. So they have about a month where they're closed. So if you can't start the cycle or I guess it would be around November for me, I wouldn't be able to do it in December, and so I'd have to wait to January. So if the implantation didn't happen this time, and if I don't start back-to-back cycles, the earliest I could do it again would be in January anyway. So it's good. It kind of forces me to take a break if the test is negative, but hopefully it's positive. And if it's positive, listen, either way, it's overwhelming. I feel like if it's positive, then we have a whole new thing to think about. So, so either way, I'm sure I'll have a whole plethora of emotions, regardless of what the test turns out to be, just because I can't see how you can't. It's a big life-changing event if it's positive, and if it's negative, there's some disappointment, but all is not lost, or at least that's what I'm telling myself now. Hopefully I can stay there without freaking out or feeling too disappointed. But I think that's really it. So I just wanted to update you on that luteal blood test and my symptoms, which for the most part remain unchanged. Nothing new that I can think of. And just to say, I probably won't take the test on Thursday, but we'll see if I have nothing else better to do. And I'll talk to you soon. Happy Election Day, and I hope everyone got out there to vote today. Anyway, pray for me if you do, and if not, at least wish me luck.